let's have a chat about blocking. Now, because of the size of the piece, it's a bit of a logistical nightmare to show you blocking it in its entirety. So I'm just going to show you the principles of blocking to help you get the best out of your lovely Dreamcatcher Shawl project. So what you're going to need is something squashy. I'll just move these to one side for now. What I've got here is one of those pieces of a child's play mat, something squashy that you don't mind pinning into. And if you look there, you can see all these little holes are from past blocking projects. These work really well. For this particular project, a yoga mat would be amazing because obviously you've got the length of it. Folded towels are fine, ironing board is fine, that's absolutely fine. Anything at all that you don't mind sticking pins into. Again, because of the size of the project, also don't worry about if you have to do your blocking in stages. So maybe one mandala at a time and then maybe parts of the centre part. If you need to chunk it up and do it in chunks because of space issues, that's what I'm going to be having to do with mine. I just haven't got kind of the space to do it all in one go, but that's absolutely fine. You just need a little bit of patience, which I'm terrible at, but there you go. It's perfectly fine to do it that way. So we've got our squashy surface to put pins into, and the pins that I'm going to be using are these T-pins. Any pins will do, as long as they won't rust when they get wet, because if they do rust, they spoil the project because the rust goes onto the project, and it's utterly heartbreaking. So make sure whatever pins you choose to use won't rust. Finally, you're going to need a water spray like this, so for plants or hair or whatever you use it for. And what I've got in here is just a warm water and no rinse wool solution. You don't have to put the wool solution in. I just like it because it smells lovely. I've got eucalyptus in here, but anything like that will do if you want to. You don't have to. Plain water will work totally fine. Okay, so as I say, we don't really have a hope of showing you the full piece because it's just simply too big. Fabulous. So I'm going to just show you a small piece as a a demonstration of what you need to be looking at doing when you block. So it's not too bad, our piece, but it is a little bit curly. It's kind of bunching up a little bit because of the nature of crochet. So what we want to do with our blocking is encourage it to lay flat and sort of set it in that position so that when we're kind of wearing it or whatever, it's flat and defined and even and lovely. It absolutely hides a multitude of sins, does blocking, because anything that's uneven you can kind of encourage out. So I'm just going to start by putting a pin in the top of that petal. If I take that out first, you can see it's kind of going over to the right. I'm going to put a pin in the centre, and when I put my other pins in around it, it will even it up and it won't be pulling out to the right anymore. Put as many pins in as you like. I'm an advocate of putting in loads of pins. And if you see, if I do that, it's just pulling out the work between those petals. I'll pull that up and out. You really can mould pieces into whatever shape you want using blocking. So for example, we've got quite flat edges here. If I kind of pin like so, it will give it a much more defined sort of scalloped edge. I know it looks quite exaggerated there, but you get, I just wanted to kind of indicate what will happen during the blocking process. And that's probably a little bit too far out. Can you see what I'm doing there? So that's absolutely fine. So you continue to pin, and once you've kind of put pins in every single part of it, you may need to go back and adjust some that are already there. That's absolutely fine. Take your time getting the pinning right, because once you've allowed your piece time to properly block, it will kind of set pretty well in that position. So you don't want to be kind of scrunching it up or anything. Okay, so you will carry on doing this all the way through your piece until you've got it into a state that you're happy with. That is not it. Even on the demo, I can't leave it like that. But you can see what I mean. You will adjust as you go, because when you put some in, it's going to sort of stretch things down. It's opened up, as an example here, you can see it's opened up that little area between the petals so you can really see the work there. So you're going to carry on and you'll do that all the way through the piece that you're blocking. Then you're going to take your spray and, oh, it's misfiring. There we go. Now it's spraying. And you'll just spray it until it's damp, okay? You obviously can't see, but it's now nice and damp. Well, you can see the water there, can't you? Now comes the really hard part, because you've just got to leave that alone to dry. However long that takes, you've got to leave it alone. Because once it's completely dry and you take those pins out, it will stay in that position and look amazing. That's all you need to do. Like I said, don't be afraid to do it in chunks. If you've only got kind of a smaller space like I have, do it in chunks. Just give it the time, because you've spent hours making this. Give it a couple more hours to bring it out to its fullest potential.